defensive back than before.
Why are they using that more?
Because more to become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Joe Flacco and company heading back out onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But can you try and heighten your play a little bit? So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
They'll start things on first down with Dion Lewis. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Partner, I think there's a lesson there. Some days you're just having a really tough time, and for the defense, today has been that day. But after that play, what do you learn? You can still make plays even when the other guy's having success against you.
Now flags come in. Looked like one of the Patriots might have moved. So that'll back him up 5. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They try again with Lewis. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell him, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
And this is going to be incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And will switch hands, 1st and 10. John Ross and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. There's a lot of talk in training camp about him getting off to a hot start this year, saying that they needed that. Well, he's done it through the first month.
It kind of reminds me of one of those great musical groups where one person has their name out front, then they have the backups, right? He's the guy out front because the backups, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but we're going to the headliner each and every time. And that's not easily done because, you know, all the defenses are kicking towards him right now. That means he's fighting his way through traffic, finding ways to get open, even when he's not supposed to be.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. He'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Perry Riley coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Foxborough after this. We're just 2 minutes away from sending you to Orlando for Larry Ridley in our EA Sports Halftime Report, so don't forget about that coming up shortly.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a halftime without him, and we thank him for doing the highlights. Let's go get a snack.
Now we're going to get a timeout here called by the Patriots. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Carolina. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Now Joe Flacco and the offense heading back out onto the field. I think this crowd not really sure what to make of things. You know, their guys have not looked very good. Their leader here at the top, he hasn't looked that great either.
And most of the time you hear guys talk about how they don't let the crowd affect them or they block it off. Well, that's not really fully true, because a lot of the time you ride the wave of emotion with the crowd when it's positive for you. In this case, they've got to find a way to shake it off and at least get something done to maybe put the crowd back on their side.
Absolutely. Give these guys something to cheer about. Second and 10. Flacco once more. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. The 40. 20. 10. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Tyreek Hill, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Patriots are able to strike quickly for 6.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches the football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Back out for another drive comes LeGarrette Blount. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
We often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the earth.
35. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Here we go now. Green.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. A quick hitter complete. It's Ross. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. All right, let's discuss Dion Lewis as he gets set to go again. And Charles, you can't really fault him. He's over 100 yards already. He's not the reason they're losing.
And that is really unusual, because ordinarily when you've set the tone this way and have run it this effectively, usually your team's in control. So it's a very strange situation. And you're right, you can't fault him. He's done a great job for his team.
It's caught inside the 25. And he is down deep into Carolina territory. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Flacco from the gun. And that's going to be caught for a Patriot touchdown. Deshaun Jackson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Patriots are back within a score. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Point after now from Sturgis. And the lead will shrink to 6. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
He'll come out throwing here on first down. Going deep downfield for Ross. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. He was looking for John Ross that time. And that'll bring up second down.
Definitely worth taking another deep shot here. He's already found the end zone twice here in the first half.
Yeah, go back to that same throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's caught inside the 20. And he's going to be taken down deep into Patriot territory. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Larry.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Patriots haven't played their best football and trail because of it. The Panthers have looked good on the road.
All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. Now the Patriots offense, they work their way back out onto the field. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Play action, Flacco. And going deep for Hill. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
The best receivers we know always tease their quarterbacks that, hey, no matter what you do, you cannot overthrow me. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened on that play. Normally, they time it up pretty well, but on that one, he just overshot him.
On third down. That's Lewis. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
I don't know about you, partner, but I'm rubbing my eyes after that play. Did we just see that runner not get yardage? A big-time play by the defense. It does happen occasionally, even against the best running backs who are having big days.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Very tough spot here for the offense to start. And now here's a carry heading left. And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I think they're ahead of schedule now after that run. They might be bold with this 2nd down call after that type of a game.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're not doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
This is caught by Jackson. And he's going to have the 1st down as he's marked down just shy of the 20. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. 1st down and 10 now for the offensive group. Now Now a handoff as they run left side. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And now here's a carry heading left. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
The punt team on now is from their end zone. They get it away. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So the Patriots coming out now. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a teammate.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ian Williams busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
Look, Carolina had a number of issues last year, and that's why they slumped to 6-10 after a Super Bowl.
It's Kelsey on the ground. That catch good for 5. It's third down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, you know, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. 18 big yards on that one, and a New England first down. Instead of the running back in New England, sometimes they like to call them the passing backs. They get them the ball in different ways, don't they?
They certainly do. Think about the ones they've had in recent vintage. You talk about Kevin Falk, Danny Woodhead, Shane Vereen, James White could have been the MVP in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for a certain quarterback that was on the field that day.
On second down, Flacco to throw. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Setting up to throw, Flacco. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. The Patriot passing game is rolling. They've got another first down.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create.
Back now in Foxborough. It's Patriot football, but they trail here as we begin the fourth quarter. First and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Flacco looks to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Anthony Barr in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That sacks on back-to-back plays. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Here's Flacco. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be fourth down. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. He'll have the win at his back here in the fourth quarter. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. Well, he had it online, gave it a pretty good ride, too, but in the end, he's a victim of the crossbar.
And, Brandon, you know kickers very well. I bet if we ask him after the game, he'll say he didn't get all of it. We've seen him hit from deeper than this in warm-ups. But here, he's a foot or so from clearing that bar.
And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
But, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football. But they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Beathard. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Now Beathard. Open man, it's Vernon Davis. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one goes for 34 yards. And it'll be 1st down, Panthers.
And they pick up the 1st down on a 4th down play. I don't know if the defense relaxed because they thought maybe they'd stopped them on 3rd down, or if they just didn't protect the sticks very well. But, boy, that's a big-time pickup right there.
And they'll get him down right about the 20. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
They'll run it on the toss. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
Inside the red zone, and that means don't come away from there with anything less than 3 points. But everyone's thinking about 6. They're trying to get to the end zone. They decide to run a toss. Big people up front being mobile and moving, and a running back trying to follow behind them to find yardage, and that's exactly what he did.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Eddie Royal, his first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers add on to their lead. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
So they're going to go for 2. The toss running left. That's Grant. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, partner, since this new 2-point rule came into play, offenses spend a lot more time working on it. That means the defenses are doing the exact same thing.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. The Patriot offense now set to come back out onto the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. Operating out of the gun, Flacco. Now they can't bring him down. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
They go play action here on first down. And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Starting to really smell a 4-0 start right now. Yeah, can't ask for a better first quarter of the season than that.
And you're not supposed to look ahead, but guess what?
You're going to?
They have to. Because when you get to if you get to 4-0.
Tucker now for the extra point. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory, like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. A good pickup there, a 22.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
7 yards on the play, and that'll bring up second down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is launched by the quarterback, you throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB, and oftentimes you're able to knock it away, as we just saw there.
Looking for 2 yards here on third down. Flacco. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football. Incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
So here's the kicker, Caleb Sturgis, on to try the field goal. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. And Sturgis able to knock it through, and the deficit falls under 20 now. It's a 19-point game. Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's likely not going to matter much, but at least they get themselves 3 points closer to respectability.
And I don't know that they're going to feel a whole lot better about things because they've clearly been outplayed all game long. But, hey, no reason not to take the points when the opportunity presents itself.
And it looks like the Panthers' hands team does its job. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
To throw is Beathard. He's going to float this one deep right side. A swing pass caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
But right now, maybe they're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
If you're the coaching staff upstairs, you might want to file that play away. Did you see how fast the safety closed on that one? Coming up in run support, made a big-time tackle. Might want to try and check into a pass next time.
Yeah, got him for a loss. Really, really great play defensively. That's complete right around the 8. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
A 4th quarter score from the Meadowlands. And it was the Jaguars who were able to come away with a victory there. Jameis Winston, nearly 300 passing yards to lead his crew. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On 1st down, Flacco going underneath for Lewis. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Flacco here on 2nd down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Well, that wasn't exactly a work of art, was it?
No, that wasn't a thing of beauty. This is why I don't play in points per reception fantasy league.
Is that what they call
receiver
PPR?
still gets a point there. Yeah. And you went that far back. No bueno.
Well, I'll tell you what. I wish I had their defense on my fantasy game. This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Leckler now on as he'll punt this away. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those?